Happy Tuesday. I am so glad that you're here. This past summer, I was going birding with our youngest. We like to go out early in the mornings and look for the different migrating birds or migratory birds or whatever birds are in season for that particular point in time. And the privilege, well, one, I absolutely love spending time with him. I know that time will be short and that soon he will be out of the house and graduated and on to his own stuff. And so being able to share a hobby where we both get to be outside is something that I treasure. But in addition to seeing birds, we usually get to see other kind of wildlife as well. Sometimes we've seen fox, we see lots of deer, raccoons, possums, all kinds of things. So anyway, this one particular day we had driven out to this field and we were watching this mom deer with her two babies. And they were running across the field and she jumped over the fence and then was running along the fence line on the other side. And it was fascinating to watch because the two babies, they weren't tall enough to jump the fence that their mom jumped. And so they were running along the fence line on the other side, staying close to her, but waiting to see where they could then jump the fence and join her. And I noticed she didn't worry. She didn't keep looking back. She was confident that her babies were going to follow her. She was confident that they would find a way to get over to the side where she was at. And she modeled for them what needed to be done with confidence, as much as you can tell if a deer is being confident or not. And it made me think about parenting children. And it made me think about being a parent and the approach that we should have. And I don't think that I've done this superbly well by any means, but looking back, I think that there's a couple ingredients that work really, really well when you're parenting. One, knowing yourself and being confident in the approach that you take. So being prepared ahead of time. This mother deer had the natural instincts that she knew you needed to jump the fence in order to get away from the people, in order to stay safe. And she knew that she needed to teach those skills to her kids, her babies, so that they too, when they grew up and they were away from her, they would be able to jump the fence, get to safety, and stay protected and safe as well. It's the same thing with human parents. We need to be prepared ahead of time, going into parenting, going into any area of our life. We need to be prepared. Doing it without preparation is asking for trouble. And so the more prepared we are, the more confident we can be in the preparation that we give our kids. So our job as parents is to dedicate our kids to Christ, to teach them about him, to encourage them to build their own relationship with him. I love to pray over my kids that they will grow strong roots in God. And I don't just pray that over my kids, I pray that over everyone that I love, because we're always growing and we're always changing. And we always have that choice. And so I'm always praying that we will grow strong roots in God so that when trials and tribulations come, we will be anchored firmly in him and we won't topple. Our trees won't get uprooted, and but we'll have nice, strong, deep roots that will withstand the storms that are inevitable in life. So the more prepared we are, the more confident we can be. And the more confident we can be, then our kids can have confidence in us as well. The mom deer wasn't crying. She wasn't, like I said, glancing back, making sure her kids were following her. She knew that they needed to stay with her and they would be safe. They knew that their mom would keep them safe and lead them to safety. They just needed to follow and they needed to do their part. So I think that it's really important as parents that we have that kind of confidence and we have that kind of preparedness as we're leading our children into independent adulthood, those types of things. But the other part that I think is so important is we need to be genuine. We need to live a life, not perfect, not a perfect life, but a genuine life. We need to live what we believe. If we tell our kids not to smoke, not to drink, not to to drive under the influence, I'm just throwing things out there, then we better be making sure we're doing the same thing. We better be making sure that if we drink, we're drinking responsibly, that we never get behind the wheel if we've been drinking. And like I said, that's just an example that I'm throwing out there. If we want our kids to learn how to manage their money, then we need to be showing them, modeling them how to manage how we manage our money. We can't be overspending and upset about a high credit card bill every month and then tell our kids, well, you need to make sure you stick with a budget. First off, we need to show them how to make a budget, and then we need to demonstrate that ourselves. So we can't tell our kids you need to be honest and you need to be full of integrity, and our family is honest and full of integrity, and yet then they hear us lying to our bosses on the phone, or they hear us telling a lie, or telling our spouse, or hiding things from our spouse, like say we bought something and we didn't want them to know. Little things like that. And they may seem little, and you may say, but Sherry, those things are so little, and do they really matter in the long run? And in my opinion, yes, they do. Because if we're not genuine, if we're not who we say we are, and if we're not living the life that we are encouraging our kids to live, then I believe that that's the type of person that's lukewarm described in the Bible, and that's the type of person that God wants to spit out. When we are not living accurately, when we're not living genuinely and authentically, when we're one person at home and we're another person at church or at the store or at our workplace or at our kids' school, it's going to be found out. It's going to come to light. And is that what we really want to teach our kids? Is that really the person that we want to be? I guess I could say, in a world of fake news, do we want to be fake or do we want to be genuine? Do we want to be somebody that people can trust, or do we want to be somebody that people are always questioning? Well, do they really mean that? Are they telling me the truth? Are they lying to me? I don't want to be somebody that lies to people. I don't want to be somebody who says one thing and does another. Who you see is who you get. Flaws and all, imperfections and all. I'm not saying that we need to be perfect. Far from it. I'm actually saying, in our imperfection, we need to be genuine and real. We need to stop making ourselves out to be better than we are. We need to ask for forgiveness when necessary. We need to own up to when we've messed up, when we've made mistakes. If we realize something is not the way we thought it was, we need to change it and acknowledge that right away. We need to take responsibility for our own actions. When we all start doing those things and we start becoming those types of parents and those types of people, the world changes for the better, because we're taking responsibility for ourselves, and then we are cultivating and modeling that for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. So I think that's the encouragement that I just want to give, and it came from watching a mom deer with her 2 babies. Parenting needs to be prepared. You need to prepare yourself ahead of time so that you can parent confidently, so that you can parent biblically, and so you can parent authentically. Because when we are who we say we are everywhere, and I'm not saying that you can't have a bad day, and I'm not saying that that you never yell at your kids, or you never crab and complain about having to work late. You never make a mistake. Making a mistake is very different than hiding and trying to make yourself out to look better than you are, than skewing the circumstances and skewing the details. That's what I'm talking about. So when parenting, or just when approaching life and when dealing with other people, be prepared, be confident, and be genuine. If you liked this video, If you'd hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it. If you would subscribe, I would love it even more. And if you liked it a lot, then you could share it with a friend if you wouldn't mind. You can head to my website, SherrySwalwell.com. There you can find out more information about the Jesus in the Everyday membership. You can get the first 3 weeks for free as you learn how to, or maybe you learn how to grow your relationship with God, or maybe you just enjoy having somebody walk alongside you as you grow deeper in your relationship with God. The membership was created as a way for us to see Jesus in our everyday, to make that part of our habit, to make that part of our lifestyle. There's also fiction and nonfiction books you can check out. I co-host a podcast, the Cheer Up Podcast, with Kara R. Hunt, and you can also join my newsletter. So I look forward to meeting you and getting to know you more. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk next week.